they have now been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat. Look at verse 3. In verse 3, and if I send them away fasting, if I send them away fasting, there is fasting by choice. There is fasting that is imposed on us. Let's say, for example, now, because of the economy, people who want to eat 3 times, they cannot even eat 2 times, and they eat only once a day. That's a kind of fasting, but it's not by choice. In this case, their fasting was not by choice. They were in the meeting for those 3 days, and food was not provided, and they had nothing. Many of them had nothing to eat. That's fasting. But there is deliberate fasting. When the Spirit of God leads you, or the need of your life needs you, and you say, I must fast. You do it intelligently, and you do it purposefully, and you do it prayerfully, and you do it knowing that you have a request. And this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. That's deliberate. But then in that deliberate fast, you're very careful. If you're going to go beyond 3 days, you must take water. The body can deal without food for a longer time than it can deal without water. We're looking at Matthew chapter 17, reading from verse 19. Then came the disciples to Jesus apart and said, why could not we cast him out? Then in verse 20 it says, and Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief. Let me illustrate that for you. Let's say, for example, now you have a line, and from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 10, and your faith goes from 0 to 3, but the 3 to 10 is full of unbelief. That's why the man said in Mark chapter 9, it says, Lord, I believe, help thou mine unbelief. Unbelief mixed with his faith, and his faith from 0 to 3 or 4, and then the rest of the line, unbelief has taken over. When you fast, the fasting actually increases the faith and decreases the unbelief. And then as you shrink the unbelief and you extend the faith, your faith becomes greater, because actually if thou canst believe, all things are possible. But some of the unbelief is a kind of a pressing on the faith. Let me illustrate that to you. A woman is pregnant. The baby is there. But then that same woman that is pregnant also has fibroid. And the fibroid is growing, and the baby is trying to grow, and the baby and the fibroid, they are in the same place. And the more the fibroid grows, the more the baby is pressed, and eventually it may endanger the life of that baby. What fasting does is to remove the unbelief, like the fibroid that is pressing on the baby, and then your baby faith will come alive. And your baby faith will grow in Jesus' name. Jesus said, it is because of your unbelief. If ye have a faith as a grain of mustard seed, and there is no shadow of unbelief there, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove. Your faith will clear that mountain out of your life, out of your body, out of your environment, in Jesus' name. You will say to this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove. And nothing shall be impossible unto you. Nothing shall be impossible unto me. Look at verse 21. Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. There is prayer of faith, there is prayer and fasting when unbelief is pressing on your faith, decreasing your faith, and making your faith of none effect. Fasting will reduce that unbelief. Your faith will be bright and pierce through. Every mountain will go from your life.